Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. In fact, we are talking about a lot of light in the sky, because if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is The Struggle to Dominate. And that is because 2 days ago, we had a full moon lunar eclipse at 24 degrees of Capricorn. Capricorn is the traditional ruler of the 10th house of your career and of your public reputation and of rewards earned the hard way over a long period of time. So it rules pension plans and retirement funds. And it also rules things that money can't buy, such as trust and honor and respect that you also earn the hard way. And Capricorn is a business sign because it's a sturdy earth sign ruled by Saturn. And so it rules large corporations and government agencies. And because Pluto and Saturn are there, along with the full moon, all three planets are conjuncting each other powerfully. It simply means that there can be a change in management at the top in these organizations. And in fact, we say under a full moon, since the full moon opposes the sun, that one woman goes and another woman comes, not necessarily simultaneously, but any time in the next 6 months, because eclipses have an effect for a whole 6-month period. So let's just say for the rest of this year. And so what we can see is that the reason why there can be people who have been in power a long time who are struggling to dominate or control things the way they've always done in the past. But now it's a lot harder. And the reason why is that the sun, the moon in Capricorn, along with Saturn and Pluto, are opposing the sun in Cancer and Venus in Cancer. And so these 5 planets are in harsh opposition to each other. And that simply means that someone who may be used to being in the power seat or used to having their way, particularly behind the scenes, or has always been rather ambitious, that person could be struggling now to maintain that power or to try to keep controlling other people in the way they've always done before. Only now it's really a struggle, and in fact, they may have to step down or resign for a variety of reasons. One reason could be that when the moon and the sun oppose each other or square each other, that is a sign of indecision or confusion. So there could be a lot of that around. Or it can be, since Venus in Cancer is opposing that Saturn in Capricorn exactly. Venus is at 16 degrees of Cancer, Saturn is at 17 degrees of Capricorn. So it's a very harsh opposition. And when Venus and Saturn oppose or square each other, that is the sign of a betrayal. So one reason that somebody could step down or be struggling now to maintain their dominance or power is because there could have been recently a betrayal by somebody who had been like a family friend. And that betrayal could weaken the power of somebody who is used to having their own way. Another outcome could be that there can be a severe threat to a financial situation right now. And that is because Mars and Mercury in Leo are squaring Uranus in Taurus, and Taurus is a fixed financial sign ruling how you make your money and what you spend it on or invest it in. And so because of all of these things, there can be somebody now who could be stepping down or resigning or simply leaving for a variety of reasons, and yet they like the spotlight and they can be struggling to continue to dominate or to continue to control. But the real bottom line is these are not the good old days. And these powerful people are starting to realize that. That doesn't mean they want to be out of power, but it seems to me that they cannot maintain their power either. So there are going to be some changes. And so since it's not the good old days, it can be that people who are really used to being the power behind the throne, or to having a lot of power that they may have been abusing in the past behind the scenes. In other words, they can have their own network of things and not have to pay too much attention to the rules like all of us have to do. Those people could be acutely aware and discomforted by the fact that there's more and more truth rising to the surface now about their secrets or about their covert activities. And that is because there are 5 retrograde planets right now. And that is Mercury that's retrograde in Leo, Jupiter that's retrograde in Sagittarius, Saturn and Pluto that are retrograde in Capricorn, and Neptune that is retrograde in Pisces. And over the summer, as these planets eventually all go direct, more and more truth is going to come pouring out. And that will really threaten a lot of people who have been sort of breaking the rules, or who are now struggling to dominate or control others the way they've always been able to do in the past. Only it's not such an easy task anymore. And that's why I think there can be a change in top positions in large organizations or government agencies, and certainly based on more truth that comes out. So it might be okay to be dancing in the dark, doing what you want, as long as nobody sees you. However, there can be a lot of people right now that can be realizing that, uh-oh, with the truth coming out, their dancing days are over. And in fact, they may be getting the idea that they are now going to have to face the music and be judged for what they have done in secret or behind closed doors. And I think that the truth will enlighten us all. So in a way, it's good that they're struggling to dominate. It's good that they may have endured a betrayal or have a lot of indecision or be facing financial problems right now, because they need to move on, and they will in one way or another sometime in the next 6 months. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think what it means is that you can be struggling a little bit now due to other people's problems, and maybe they are sort of letting their problems land in your lap. And the reason why is that you can sort of be caught in the middle of tensions that are arising in other situations that are sort of coming to a head, and there you are sort of listening to both sides. And that's because the Sun and Venus in Cancer are squaring your Sun, and Saturn and Pluto and the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn are also squaring your Sun. That is a lot to handle, Aries. And so you could be feeling as if you're being pushed in a couple of different directions or pulled in a couple of different directions. And you could be a little stressed out by that right now. On the other hand, Mercury and Mars in Leo are trining your Sun, and Jupiter in Sagittarius is trining your Sun. So this is a time of change, because a lunar eclipse generally means one woman goes and another woman comes. If it's not a woman, it's still somebody in a pretty high position. And I think that you could be feeling as if you're somewhat trapped in the middle of this. And my advice to you is try to take advantage of the planets that are in good aspect to your sun sign, and perhaps revise your travel plans, or try to learn a new skill by developing a new area of study. That's Jupiter and Sagittarius trining your Sun. Or else you should sort of try to become more involved in helping people that might be in a little bit of trouble right now, such as children or loved ones, something like that, to get your mind off your own problems if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time when there can be some money problems headed your way, or you could have high bills right now, Taurus, because that Mars in Leo along with Mercury are squaring Uranus in your own sun sign. So, you know, that can be bothering you a little bit. It doesn't mean you're broke, Taurus. I mean, if there's a a high bill that suddenly shows up, I think you can probably pay it, but you might not want to, but you could do that. On the other hand, this full moon lunar eclipse on Tuesday with the moon, Saturn, and Pluto all in Capricorn, we're trining Uranus in your sun sign. And that simply means that somehow, if there is a change at the top, if there is a way that one person goes and then eventually somebody else comes, that could be of great benefit to you, Taurus. In a work situation, it might be that your boss moves on. Well, that might open up a job opportunity for you or some sort of career advancement. So I don't think that you're necessarily going to be hurt by some sort of change, or if somebody resigns or leaves or steps down. That could be something to your advantage, Taurus. So you should sort of hang in there and keep your eyes and ears open and concentrate on your career right now, because it's looking as if there could be some very good possibilities coming up. So it would be a good time for you to think about going for a promotion right now, because this full moon could sort of help get you there. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, there are no planets in your sign once again, and there aren't any planets in the other air signs either. But there are 4 good planets ahead of your sun sign, Gemini, and that's because that Sun and Venus in Cancer are sextiling your sun. They're right ahead of your sign, and that simply means that you can be looking forward to some good family times, or you can be involved in some sort of real estate transaction that is aspected to work out very well for you. And then Mars and Mercury in Leo are also sextiling your sun. They're actually causing some financial problems for some people, and they may even, since they're squaring Uranus in Taurus, which is right behind your sun, it might mean you might have a suddenly high bill that you have to pay as well. But actually, you've got a lot of good things to look forward to right now, Gemini. And the full moon lunar eclipse on Tuesday was in conjunct or 150 degrees away from your sun sign. So you yourself may not be involved in making some sort of change, or you may not have to step down or anything right now. Instead, I think you can sort of be happily looking forward to a better family or home or real estate situation that can work out pretty well for you. Even an ending right now in one way or another could be rather good for you. It could once again make you happy. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when I think you can be very happy because Venus is in your sun sign, so you could be in a good mood. You can certainly be wanting to look your best, and you can be very popular. Well, that's great. The problem is that the lunar eclipse on Tuesday with the moon, your own ruler, and Saturn and Pluto all tightly conjuncting each other, were all opposing the sun and Venus in your sign. This is a very good time, Cancer, for you not to pay attention to other people's career problems. And don't align yourself with somebody who used to be powerful and perhaps still is, because they really are struggling to dominate you or control you in one way or another. And you may have been putting up with this for quite a long while. It may even have something to do with a policy of a large corporation or a government agency that has been restricting you in one way or another. And you know, you've had to sort of follow along no matter what, even though you didn't want to. And so now with Venus in your sign, and Venus and the Sun are trining Neptune in Pisces, it simply means that behind the scenes, as more and more truth comes out, you can be saying, oh, I knew that all along. And there could be some sort of justice coming up, and that would be really good. And so I don't think that you're looking at any trouble right now, Cancer. In fact, I think that there can be something even better happening in your home or in your family life, maybe even some pretty good news coming your way, and that could involve a real estate matter as well. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when you do have to be a little bit careful and sort of keep a lid on things, because Mars and Mercury are in your sign. They're still conjuncting, and they are forcefully squaring Uranus in Taurus, which is another malefic planet ruling sudden surprising change and volatility and rebellion. So that's why you've got to keep a lid on your emotions and on some of your words, Leo, because Mars is conjuncting Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of the mind and of communication. So you could say too much right now, or you could be absolutely right on something, but say it in a way that sort of cuts a little bit too keenly and alienates people instead. And so, Mars is not a charming planet, but it is in your sign, and it's being harshly aspected. So if I were you, I would try to take a little trip or get out of town or study something that elevates your mind in some way, because Jupiter in Sagittarius is trining your sun. But otherwise, I would stay out of messy situations, and I wouldn't take sides with anybody in an argument right now, because you might end up being the odd man out. And that is why, you sort of, either you should travel and just enjoy yourself a little bit now if you can, because it's summertime, or else you need to be very careful what you say and how you say it, or you can make enemies instead. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when I think you benefit greatly, just as Taurus does, from the full moon, because the full moon, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn were all trining your sun 2 days ago, and Uranus in Taurus is also trining your sun, and the sun and Venus in Cancer are sextiling your sun. There's just a lot of planets supporting your sun sign right now, Virgo. So that's good. That means that doors will open, maybe slowly, there could be delays, but they will open. And in fact, if somebody does resign or step down, that could create a door that opens for you, Virgo. In fact, I'm real sure of that for some reason, somebody who is struggling to dominate or control the way they've always done that in the past is failing at that. And the sooner that they do resign or step down or leave, the better it is for you. And you will see proof of that by the end of August, when there's a fabulous new moon in your sign with 5 planets there. You'll really be in the driver's seat by then. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when, just like Aries, you could be feeling as if you're just caught between a rock and a hard place right now. And the reason why is that full moon lunar eclipse conjuncting, with the moon conjuncting Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, were squaring your sun. Troubles with employers, or it can be that some organizations and even government agencies may be having to cut their budgets. That could be a problem for you. And then the Sun and Venus in Cancer are squaring your sun sign as well, meaning there can be a nice family situation, but it can be, you can't be in 2 places at once. So you could have the pressure of your career and the pressure of your home life sort of tearing you apart right now, Libra. You may, you can't be in 2 places at once, and so you could be feeling pulled apart. Well, you've got to calm down a little bit. There aren't any planets in the air signs to comfort you in any way. And I think that there is going to be a change around you. What you need to do is sort of be still right now and wait until the change happens. I don't think the change is happening to you, Libra. I think it's happening around you. And you'll have to adjust. And that is why you just need to be as still and quiet as you can right now, and sort of wait for the fallout, and then you'll know how to go forward. So, don't waste your time or your energy or your money right now, Libra. In fact, if I were you, I would just stay home and sort of enjoy your summer fun right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time that I think that it can be advantageous for you, because the Sun and Venus in Cancer are trining your sun, and Neptune in Pisces is also trining your sun. So there's going to be a lot of information coming out that is truthful, that is going to uncover secrets, and it's going to illuminate things that have been going on behind the scenes that shouldn't have been going on. And these things can be done by people in high places that are now struggling to maintain their power, or they want to try to dominate or control the way they always have in the past. And they can't do it anymore. for one reason, there's 5 retrograde planets. There's a lot of truth coming out into the open right now. But the other thing is your sign rules justice. And justice is certainly well aspected right now. And so it's going to happen. And when it does, there will be some financial penalties as well. So Scorpio, if you've been doing anything behind the scenes, you're going to be a little poorer for it, because either you're going to get caught or fined for that. But if you haven't been, it means that you could be feeling a lot better about justice being done, because it would be upholding your own values, which is good. The lunar eclipse was sextiling your sun. If somebody does resign or make a change of some sort, that could leave some sort of opening or opportunity for you at a later date, maybe a little closer to the holidays, which would be good for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, this is a time when I think that you can be energized, because Mars and Mercury in Leo are trining your sun sign where you have Jupiter. If your energy is devoted to higher learning or to long distance travel or to having dealings with children or an educational institution, you could make up for lost time, and that would work out pretty well right now. So anything that had been delayed, you could sort of get on it, and that would be good. But the problem is that lunar eclipse was in Capricorn right ahead of your sun sign. And that means there is going to be a change. It might be at work for you, Sagittarius. And it can be that a woman or somebody in a high position is struggling to maintain their power and realizing that that can't be done anymore, and they can resign or leave or change jobs. And you know, you would have to sort of pick up the slack, Sagittarius. If they leave, it might mean a lot more extra work for you. But that's the way it goes. It could also mean the possibility of a promotion for you if you do all that extra work. So there could be something in it for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, that full moon lunar eclipse on Tuesday was in your sun sign, and oh boy, was that powerful, because the moon was conjuncting Saturn and Pluto in your sign, and they were all being trined by Uranus in Taurus. So if you wanted to change careers, or if you wanted to take a step up in your career, or if instead you wanted to cut back in your career, or you were thinking about retirement, or you were wanting to be a lot more careful about your investments, that would be a good idea, Capricorn. This is probably not the time to think about advancing, but it is a better time for you to think about reducing the stress and pressure in your life and paying much more attention to your investments and your long-term security. And that is something you're good at, Capricorn, but you might have taken your eyes off that lately if you've been involved in family issues, which could be possible since the moon and Venus are opposing your sun sign. But you do have to get back to thinking about your long-term security and your investments. So if I were you, I would cut the family time down a little bit and not concentrate so much on your career, but instead just concentrate on living a good long life and having the money to pay for it as well. You need to think about that more. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when there aren't any planets in the air signs again, which is too bad. And Uranus in Taurus is squaring your sun, meaning there could be sudden upsets or higher expenses for you. And Mars and Mercury in Leo are opposing your sun sign, which can sometimes indicate bad news about children or love affairs or sports or the entertainment world or being an entrepreneur or creative projects. Those may not be working out too well for you at the moment, Aquarius. And right behind your sun sign was the lunar eclipse on Tuesday, and that means there would be a lot of light in the background of your life because the moon was there, that full moon was there, and it was conjuncting Saturn or Pluto. So you do have a serious problem somewhere in the background of your life, and it can't be hidden. More people can see what it is. So I would get some help with that if I were you, Aquarius. I think you need a little bit of help because you may not be able to rely on the same people that you've relied on in the past for one reason or another. And that is why you need to slow down a little bit and really pay attention to changes that can be occurring in the background of your life that are very important. And even if they're not happening now, they could happen in the next 6 months. And that could sort of leave you in the lurch if you don't pay attention to that right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, it's wonderful that the Sun and Venus in Cancer are trining Neptune in your sun sign, because that certainly means that you can be rather happy with your home life, or you can be very popular with your family members, or there can be some good news about a real estate deal, or even some sort of remodeling project that could work out pretty well for you right now, along with your popularity. But most of all, since the water signs rule healing, it simply means that this is an opportune time for you to relax a little bit, Pisces, and enjoy a period of greater understanding with your family members and more healing. That full moon lunar eclipse was sextiling your sun. If there is some person leaving or relinquishing their power or stepping down in one way or another, it could leave an opportunity perhaps for you to get more serious about a career position of your own, and that would be good as well. So anyway, there are all kinds of possibilities, but right now I think you should just bask in your popularity and enjoy your home life and your family while you can. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show, hear our blog, and read our podcast. You can read our blog and hear our podcast on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.